But if I told you that your focus is less than a goldfish? In 2014, Microsoft researchers found that the average human attention span was 12 seconds. By 2015, it had dropped to 8 seconds. A goldfish has an attention span of 9 seconds. We became less focused than goldfish, and the person sitting next to you has been paying the price. Hello, I am Akil and this is my channel The Quiet Space. Last episode we sat with Bill and Betty Jo. Bill received compliments for 2 months and he said, "She's made me feel like a man again." Betty Jo received the same amount of words, but she said, "He's giving me compliments now, but he's still not spending any time with me. We never actually do anything together." Betty Jo didn't need words, she needed time. And this is our love language for today's episode, quality time. The next month is the World Cup. Many couples will sit together watching the same match, but how many of them will feel connected? You may think being in the same place or doing something side by side is what we call quality time, but I'm afraid you are wrong. That's more physical proximity than togetherness. In the 1970s, psychologist John Gottman began one of the longest running studies of couples in history. He could watch a couple interact for just 15 minutes and predict with over 19% accuracy whether they would divorce. One of his most important findings: the couples who stayed together didn't necessarily have fewer conflicts. They didn't necessarily communicate better in the traditional sense, but they did one thing consistently that the struggling couples didn't. They turned toward each other. Gottman called these moments beats for connection. A beat is any small attempt to get the other person's attention, affection, or engagement. It could be as simple as, "Look at this sunset. Can you believe what happened today?" Every beat is a question underneath it. Are you there? Do you see me? Do I matter to you right now? The couples who stayed together responded to beats 86% of the time. The couples who divorced responded only 33%. It wasn't big fights that ended those marriages. It was thousands of small moments of looking away for someone who was asking to be seen. Time is the only thing you spend that you can never earn back. And quality time asks you to spend it on one person completely. Quality time means giving someone your full attention. And it is one of the hardest love languages, especially nowadays. Because if you are talking with someone beside using your phone or doing something else, that means you are hearing them, but you are not listening to them. We need quality conversation, which is a key part of quality time. I'm sure you have heard this advice before. Be a good listener. So how to be a good listener? Let me tell you about Patrick, 17 years of marriage, and he didn't understand what his wife needed until it was too late. My wife would come home from work and tell me about the problems in her office. I would listen to her and then tell her what I thought she should do. I always gave her advice. I told her she had to comfort the problems. Problems don't go away. The next day she would come home from work and tell me about the same problems. I would ask her if she did what I had suggested the day before. She would shake her head and say no. So I would repeat my advice. I told her that was the way to deal with the situation. After 3 or 4 nights of that, I would get angry. I would tell her not to expect any sympathy from me if she wasn't willing to take the advice. She didn't have to live under that kind of stress and pressure. She could solve the problem if she would simply do what I told her. The next time she would bring up the problem, I would say, "I don't want to hear about it. I've told you what you need to do. If you are not going to listen to my advice, I don't want to hear it." I would withdraw and go with my business. What a fool I was. Now I realized that she didn't want advice when she told me about her struggles. She wanted sympathy. She wanted me to listen, to give her attention, to let her know that I could understand her, the stress, the pressure. She wanted to know that I loved her and that I was with her. She didn't want advice. She just wanted to know that I understood. But I never tried to understand. I was too busy giving advice. What a fool, and now she's gone. So I need you to remember that listening matters more than fixing. And good listening includes eye contact, no multitasking, noticing emotions, and avoiding interruptions. Don't be like a goldfish. Goldfish. A conversation is only a conversation when it goes both ways. You have to be willing to share too, not just what happened, but how it made you feel. Because intimacy is not built by two people who are both being polite. It's built by two people who are both being honest. Quality conversation is one side of quality time, but Chapman says there is a second side. Quality activities. The activity itself matters less than the purpose. The purpose is to experience something together, to walk away feeling he cares about me. He was willing to do something I enjoy, and he did it with a real attitude. The activity doesn't have to be something you both love. It just has to be something one of you loves and the other is willing to show up for, with a good attitude, not like they are sacrificing themselves, because being there while feeling annoyed is not quality time. It's just proximity with a bad mood. One of the most beautiful things about quality activities is what they leave behind. They become memories. And as we said in the passion episode, if you want happiness to last longer, create memories. Because when memories come back, they bring the feeling back with them. Memories of love will bring love again. So tonight when someone you love makes a small bit for your attention, don't look away. Put the phone down, because sometimes love is not about saying the perfect thing. Sometimes love is simply saying, I'm here, I'm listening. That's quality time, and for some people that's love's loudest voice.